Yeah, we smoking on some Hallenback, Peace Reed, what's up? We smoking on some Hallenback right now from Super. What are you smoking on? Let's go and count our blessings today. Whatever you blessed with, give a shout out. You can wiggle your fingers and toes. Say that you can. Count your blessings. It's a beautiful day to be alive. With that, let's go ahead and get started. Now today I'm not gonna be too long. We normally start out at 420 God's Bible. Today we're on day 27. And on day 27, it's real simple. Meditate. Psalms 46:10. And what we was just listening to was Shh, Peaceful by Miles Davis. Now, Psalms 46:10 says, Shh, be still and know that I am God. Psalms 46:10, Genesis 1:29, Psalms 82:6, Revelations 21:3-4-5. You will see these verses throughout 420 God's Bible. They all hold significance in my personal spiritual journey, all for various truthful meanings along my journey. They are my go-to verses. I wasn't raised as a Christian, so at one point, they really meant nothing to me. But Psalms 46:10 says, shh, be still and know. Not be still and think, not be still and believe, but be still and know. Whenever the road gets rocky, be still. Stay on your squares. O ye of little faith. If you're still, the storm will pass. And that's peace. And without further ado, let's bring in our guest today. Appreciate you, brother. There we go.
Man, it's
There you go.
Instagram. And that happens with Instagram.
That's good. We back. We put that
Yeah.
up. Let me put it up
Oh,
so I can show everybody where I'm coming from, basically, first.
the
Where I
21
came
keys.
from. All right.
The 21
21 keys.
keys.
So, yeah, so there we go. Now, and we're going to get to that later. I want to kind of go through a process, but in your book, 21 Keys, you said that God, it was a part where it said God forgives us for our sins, whether we deserve it or not, and that's comforting. And I was going to say, for me, I disagree with that. I think your sins are forgiven when you repent. You can't just say, "Hey, forgive me, I'm good," and you're still gonna be punished, even in your thought process. If you keep doing the same things, you can keep getting the same results,
No doubt. No doubt.
bad
Totally
or
agree.
good.
I totally agree. 110%.
All right, all right. Let me give you my
Peace.
last guy question, man, for the fellowship. And I'm gonna tell you something too, because I don't believe there's a devil. All right, I never met the devil. I believe what I know, and what I know is I do know that I've met the real God, and it's a real thing. But my last question for you: do you think God is a placebo?
I don't know what that means.
A placebo is a pill they give people when they test drugs. The placebo is the one that they give you that's not real. Then the real drug is the one that they give you that's real. And a lot of times people feel good just by having a placebo.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right now, with me, the jury's still out. There was times that I believed wholeheartedly that there was this higher power over the world that dictated everything that happened to us. Uh, but as I got older and I started to not only research myself, but also research everything that I've been taught while I was in the joints. I couldn't read before I went to prison, and after I learned how to read, it made me to rethink everything that I had been taught. One of the things this book asked me, I can't even remember the name of the book, but it asked me, could I believe that everything that I believed could be wrong? Not that it was wrong, but the possibility that it could be wrong. And
Hmm.
when I thought about that, um, I accepted the fact that a lot of things that I really wholeheartedly believed in was wrong, and that it was possible that everything that I know could be wrong, and until you investigated it, you had to perceive it as possibly not true. Not that it wasn't
Hmm.
true, but just the possibility, and
For sure.
and that's how you become an open-minded person. When you start to take everything as a fact, even though you haven't done any investigation to prove that fact, you're not open-minded. You become a closed-minded person.
I concur. I concur. All right, so let's go it up. Now, when you were young, you wanted to be a tennis star.
Yeah, I
Did you
thought I
ever
was gonna be.
did you ever run into Richard Williams and see him training Venus and Serena? Were y'all in the same? I know you
We
from that area.
Yeah, we was at a couple tennis tournaments together. The tennis world in California is really small. Um, when Venus and Serena was young, I had a tennis camp. My tennis camp probably was before his, maybe, uh, but right around the same time. And when we would be at the tournaments, it's not many blacks there, so they would come over and hang out with us.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I want to give a shout out, man, to all the fathers who made professional athletes: Jordan, Webber, Tiger Woods, Grant Hill. All those fathers were instrumental in their children becoming, professional athletes. Really. So, just give a shout out to the fathers right there.
No doubt, no
Um,
doubt. Take a lot of sacrifice on the dad's part.
yeah.
Richard Williams, he had a method, and he was running it. I got to see a little bit of it firsthand, when they were small. I think Venus may have been like 12 years old when we were all hanging out together at the tournaments. I think Serena might have been about 8, but they were very young, and he had them on the right track.
Hmm. Yeah, man. I hope. It's good to know that. I'm glad that. But see, that's I was. I mean, you kind of like not even Forrest Gump. You more than Forrest. Like you know everybody. Everybody know you, and you've touched so many people's lives. I heard you say something the other day about being a splash in a pond. You talking to Big Daddy Kane, and you talking about Jay-Z and how he helped him. He was like, I ain't help him, but what you said was, well, even if you helped him a little bit, you helped him.
Absolutely.
And and that's what I mean. And I'm thinking about how many people you've actually helped, you know, just by being yourself and being who you are. And
Millions, millions. I've
God
touched
put you here for a
millions.
purpose, man.
Yeah,
Whether you believe it or not.
I've touched millions of people's lives one way or another, and that's my goal. I made that my
Hmm.
purpose to touch other people's lives. And to hopefully give them the same insight that I have created for myself. My man said, "Want for your brother what you want for yourself." So
That's what's up.
you know. I feel overwhelmed right now with joy, and I'm hoping that I can share that with others.
That's what's up. All right, let's go. I'm gonna go switch up now. How did you get talked out of? This is something I heard you say before you was going into rap, but you got talked out of it. You could have been the king of rap. So how did you get talked out of being the king of rap?
Well, from playing tennis, it was this guy named Otis Smith. People in the record business, they know him. He used to be the vice president. Matter of fact, he had did something at that time I don't think has ever been done again. He was the president of 2 record labels at the same damn time. So when I was a kid coming up, wanting to be a tennis player, he had a son that he wanted to be a tennis player, and he would pay me to go out and play tennis with his son. I mean, I was 16 years old, and you know, I didn't get it often, but you know, a couple times a week, he would give me $20 an hour to go out and hit tennis balls with his son. You know, and when I came up, it's in my book too. If they pick up the book, my autobiography, I talk about the whole
Oh,
thing in there.
some of them.
No, that's the other one. That's the other one. You know, I got
All
two
right.
books. I got two books. And so one day I was just relaxing one day. You know, I was a multimillionaire now, and still a young man, you know, maybe in my early 20s, and I just wanted to go chill out by myself. You know, I didn't want to be around nobody, and I go to this tennis tournament, and I look on the court, and there's this black guy playing, and I look at his
Mhm.
legs. I say, I know these legs, and I know this body, you know, but the kid now, when I used to play with him, he's about 12 years old, 13 years old, but now he's 18 playing at UCLA, uh, one of the top players on UCLA's team, and he has a match going on against Stanford. He's
Mhm.
playing the guy at Stanford. It's a pro-am tournament, so I want to watch, and I start watching the match, and then I notice they get into an argument, and the white guy had a bunch of friends with him, and they were pretty big dudes too. And I was like, damn, I didn't come out here for this. But I ain't finna see my friends get beat up.
Mhm.
So I got on the telephone. You know, I had a mobile phone then. I got on, I got on my telephone, and I called my friends. I said, man, there's some white boys out here about to beat me up. And I mean, the timing was impeccable. I saw my guys climbing over the fence because they didn't pay to get in. They all jumped the fence, and I see about 30 dudes jumping the fence like soldiers. And about that time, Otis had walked onto the court, and the guy that he was playing, socked him in the eye. Otis was a little older than I was, probably about 10, 15 years older than I was. Uh,
Mhm.
so my guys looked at me, and they just, I gave them the signal to handle it, you know, and they took care of it. They beat white people up that day, man.
They bombed on him.
Yeah, it was crazy, you know. And then I had to go down and break it up. So I turned out to be the hero from all the outsiders because they didn't know that I was the one that had made the phone call.
Oh, that's
You
funny.
know, Otis was looking like, you know, don't fuck with Otis. You know, so we was standing there talking, and you know, and everybody, all my guys had left, and you know, police was there and everything. So my old tennis coach walked up, and he was the one that
Mhm.
had introduced me to Otis in the first time. And I didn't even say nothing to Otis. You know, I wasn't going to tell him that I did it for him or nothing like that because it wasn't that type of situation. It was just like,
Mhm.
oh, you fucking with my man. You fucking with a
Mhm.
dude used to take care of me, motherfucker.
Mhm.
You will get hurt. I will hurt
Mhm.
you about my friends.
Mhm.
So I was just standing there, you know, chilling, and the tennis coach walked up, and then him and Otis started racing about the music industry, and he
Mhm.
was asking the coach to invest in his record label. And the coach was like, shit, you better talk to Rick. Rick got more money than Sin. And I didn't know that the coach knew about me because I thought I
Mhm.
was still kind of low key. And
Kind of
so
slick.
Otis
Slick
came
Rick.
over, and then the coach say, well, Rick probably the one that got this dunk for you. So, you know, Otis came over and told me thanks, told me he want to take me out for dinner. So
Mhm.
we go out for dinner that night because I ain't seen Otis since I was like 16 years old. I'm about 24 now, so I
Mhm.
got hair on my face. I'm a grown man now, not the little Rick that he knew that he used to, you know, take to the big country clubs and You know, give me
Mhm.
$20 and let me eat a hamburger and drink a cold Coke. You know, now I'm a grown man with a pocket full of money. I got about 40, 50 soldiers, you know,
Mhm.
at my call at any time. And we go out to eat, and he started talking about the music industry. And it was something that I had never thought about before in my life. And you know, I kind of felt crazy too, right? When I'm there, because I'm like, damn, this
Mhm.
guy used to come pick you up in a convertible Rolls Royce. He had Benzes, you know, he had all the trinkets. But I never asked him
Mhm.
what he did for a living. You know, I never got
Mhm.
quizzitive about. I just kind of like stayed in my place. You know, was happy to
Mhm.
ride
You just did
home
for the tennis.
for the tennis and to get taken home in a Rolls Royce. So when the homies see me, you know, they, oh man, you was riding in a Rolls Royce. So
Mhm.
so and I thought about this all when I was in jail, you know,
Mhm.
and he takes me around. You know, I meet Barry Gordy with him. I meet Dick Griffey. I don't know if you know who Dick Griffey is. You ever
Is
heard
that
of Dick
Ken Griffey?
Griffey?
Nah, who is that?
Dick Griffey was probably the biggest independent record label. He's the one who found Babyface, Midnight
Mhm.
Star. Who else did he
Mhm.
have? Uh, um, man, who else did he have? Oh, he helped Suge get on too. He's the one that negotiated
Mm.
the deal with Suge and Interscope.
Okay.
So that's who
So he
Dick
knew.
was.
He taught Suge the independent game from where
Correct,
he had though.
correct.
That water in the pond again. Okay.
Him and Otis was the first independent record labels. The first independent record labels. And they both begged me to quit selling drugs. They said, quit selling drugs, come into the music business. So what I did is when I started hearing about rap, I went to them. What y'all think
Mhm.
about this rap stuff? And they was like, oh no, that rap stuff ain't gonna make it, man. Do this girl with Otis. Give Otis the money he need for this girl. And the girl happened to be Anita Baker. And
So
had
that
I
worked out though, right? I mean, Nita Baker was.
it worked out for him, and it didn't work out for him either because he didn't treat her right, and she wound up jumping the label. She was on Beverly
Oh
Glen at
wow.
first, and then we wound up having to sue her and I think it was Epic Records, one of them. I'm not for sure which one it was, but lawsuit. And, she wound up. I went to prison, and she
Mhm.
wound up getting off the label. I heard he got some money, but you know I didn't get none of the money. You know how that goes. No good deed go unpunished.
You
so
know,
so
Monopoly when you're in jail, you can't
and
collect. You can't collect no money.
and during the same time, DJ Pooh is hanging out with one of my girl's cousins.
Mhm.
So he asked me to do his record,
Mhm.
and I had to make a decision: should I do Anita Baker's record with Otis Smith, or should I take this young 17-year-old kid who's never done nothing and do his record? And had the number been correct, I probably would have did both. But he told me he
Mhm.
needed 200,000, and I just gave Otis Smith 600,000. So it was
Mhm.
like, can I afford to take 800,000 out of my wheel to do
Mhm.
something that I know absolutely nothing about?
Mhm.
And
Damn.
that's how if I would have and Pooh took me over to an apartment. And when I went to this apartment, it was just guys everywhere, all laying on the floor, and they had their DJ equipment with the wires going everywhere. And when I went to Dre's house when I got out, Dre told me that he was at that house that day that I came over there.
Damn. So you. Well, you know what? But you, I guess, and I told some. I was talking to Corvain Cooper 2 weeks ago. And I made this analogy, and it's been said before, but I think when you at the top of your game, I don't care what the game is. If you're a basketball player and you Jordan or LeBron, you're not gonna leave while you at the top. So you was at the top of the game. It's hard to just walk away at the top unless you Jim
Well,
Brown and
I was looking for ways out, but because I understood that the dope game was a dead end street. Really, I mean, the dope game
mm-hmm,
is really a dead end street. You're gonna wind up either in prison or dead. You know, your
mm-hmm.
choices are very limited. It's very few people that are able to escape the dope game without one of those scenarios. So,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I'm gonna take another crack at the music business right now. You know,
Hey.
I'm meeting with a couple guys who were the West Coast, who really put the West Coast on. You know,
Okay.
one worked at Interscope. He was the head promoter over at Interscope. Another one worked at Loud Records. Another one worked at Immortal Records as well as Warner Brothers. And they're the guys who had a hand in just about everybody that came out of the West Coast. And right now, I've been talking to all three of them, and we're gonna try it again.
All right. That's what's up, man. Looking forward to it. All right. Let's briefly talk about your past. I'm sure everybody's heard of you, know about you, and have watched the false. Some have watched the false narrative on FX. Mike Tyson put out a video saying to boycott Hulu because they put out his story without his consent. You think we should do the same thing to FX for what they did to you?
Uh, I mean, I don't think that people should watch fairy tales because what I mean by that is we've been fed so much BS throughout our lives that why would we want to watch something that's not giving us the correct history? Because that show is basically giving us a history lesson. What is what it
Mm-hmm.
should be. It should be a history lesson, and not just
Mm-hmm.
glorifying some guy who sold drugs. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my story is
Mm-hmm.
history. It's not make believe. It's still live story, uh, and it shouldn't be portrayed some money. And and, and
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much that's what's happening uh, with Snowfall. It's just a way for some cat, you know, John Singleton and his cronies the money. Uh, my battery went low, so I had to take my headphones out. I said my batteries went, huh?
You say your battery went low. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I got the charger in there now though, but it's buffering again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Hello?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you
All right,
fine.
we
Can you hear me?
back. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
Okay,
I
cool.
don't think that our history should be used just for somebody to make some money,
Indeed.
and not portray the correct history. And for somebody, because a lot of our kids believe that that's a real story. Just like
Right.
I mean, just like this rapper is a real rapper. You know, I went to schools and kids have came up to me and asked me why did I change my name? You know, why did I adopt his name? As if you know
As if right.
I wanted to be him.
Now, and that's a trip too because I was gonna stay away from that one. But Bobby, what's his name? Bobby Billy, Billy Bob, Billy Bob.
Yeah,
You ever seen CB4, the
I
movie?
saw that before. I saw that before.
So when you saw that, and when you saw him, was you like this goddamn gusto right here?
A real live gusto. But you
Yeah.
know, but with our people, we're so the system has fed us so much BS that we believe more in him than we believe in the real. You know,
Yeah.
if he do something, they're gonna be lined up around the corner. You know, I'll be going around trying to give them these books, and tell them that they need to read these books and that they need to study, that they can have everything that they want out of life,
Indeed.
and they don't want to hear that. You know, they want to go to the
Well,
club and party with him.
indeed. And that was the one part. I remember I saw one thing when you had went to this school and you asked these people, this was in the book actually. You asked these kids to read a book, to read these 3 books. None of them read any of them, and you was like, all right, peace, I'm good. Don't do it. But
Absolutely. You
with
know what
that,
I've even done? I went to schools before and talked to the kids, and I come back with the intention of whoever read the books, I'm gonna give them a present,
mm-hmm,
and nobody in there can do it.
mm-hmm. Well, see, and that's the part when you said that about what he did and what he's doing and that false narrative, and being able to actually take your name and then sully it, because you and anybody who actually was in the streets don't want to glorify that.
No,
So
because you understand that it was death and destruction,
exactly, and
and
they
no
and they
winners,
peddling that mess.
and no
Yeah,
winners. There was no
I could,
winners.
yeah.
You know,
All right, I'm gonna go.
the drug dealers don't win because they wind up in prison or dead, and the users wind up sleeping in cardboard boxes like we see right now in Los Angeles.
Indeed, all over the nation, they everywhere. Um, Now, Derek, I'm gonna go. Let's go into your past a little bit, or the past of that. Let's go into that history because we were all affected by it. Especially us. I say us the same way the opioid is affecting others now. During that period for us, I'm in here in D.C., and we were known as the murder capital at that time. Our legend was our Rick Ross was Rayful Edmonds. Did you know him? Or heard of
Yeah,
him, or did he ever get anything from you?
I knew Ray.
Okay, you know him like on the business side or just on the personal side.
Well, you know, there was no personal side.
I
You
got
know,
you. Now I'm gonna tell you something.
when I'm doing business, there is no personal side. Everything is business.
It's all business. Yeah,
Yeah,
my sister.
I don't really know if I have a personal life. You know, it's like
Mm,
everything that I do, everybody that I come in contact with, I find a way of equating it to a business. Because in actuality, our life is a business. You know, that if you can't take your life and run it a certain way, then your life will be messed up. You know, you have to run
indeed.
your life like it's a business. It has to be organized. It has to be planned out, structured. All those things need to be done in our lives, and without that, we'll find ourselves in positions, you know, like we're in right now, where we're needing pandemic money to rescue us. The virus
I
running
got you, Echo.
rapidly.
I,
Yeah,
my
so
bad.
so
I was saying that to Echo. I didn't mean to cut you.
it's
So
all
how much
good.
time you got? How much time you got? Cause
We got a few minutes. You know, I ain't in no big rush this morning.
all right, cool. So I wanted to touch on a few subjects. And speaking, I mean, really, because I wanted to touch on the whole thing with the whole, your whole case and everything, right? Um, and I was trying to tell you, my sister went to school with Ray. They went to elementary school together, and she knew him very well. They were like classmates. She actually was locked up on a conspiracy because of that, and I remember FBI vans in front of my house. She was on the run for a little while. She was pregnant in jail. So this whole, even people who didn't weren't directly in the game, you were in the game some kind of way. You know, I was a square, but my family had FBI vans in front of my house.
Hmm.
You know what I
Well, you know,
mean?
I look at the game, if you accept money from it, you're part of it. If you sell somebody something that's in the game, that makes you a part of it. From the way that the law is written, because aiding and abetting is any time that you do something with somebody that you know is doing something illegal. They're the aider and abettor. So it's really easy to be tied into the game.
Oh no, she did stuff. she did stuff.
Yeah.
She took suitcases to California. That's all I was asking you to know. But but she repented.
Understood.
You know what I mean? And
No,
she got out
no
of it.
doubt.
You know, she got
Well,
away from it.
Jesus said he that's never sinned throw the first rock.
That's
And
it.
nobody couldn't do it. They all had to step back a couple steps.
Yeah, everybody got to.
Yeah, yeah, because we all.
I'm gonna ask you a few. I'm gonna go quick with these. Does touching coke or cooking it give you like a contact high?
It does. It does. If you touch a lot of coke, it sucks and it goes into your pores. You put it on your hand, it gets on your hand, and it seeps into your body. And we didn't really understand it at the time, but it does. When you're cooking it, it's almost like hitting a pipe. The fumes, you inhaling the fumes.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, we started to put on masks, to stop that, because we couldn't figure out why we couldn't sleep. When we went home at 4 in the morning, because we had started cooking late at night, because the police used to raid all the time. So what we said is, they ain't gonna be raiding no 1 and 2 in the morning. So we would go in and cook at night and get finished about 6 o'clock in the morning. By the time they get ready to do their raids, they like to catch you sleep. So by the time they get ready to do their raid, we just going to bed, and we done finished doing what we got to do. And and they couldn't understand why they couldn't never catch us with nothing. We always stayed a step ahead of them.
That's what's up. All right. Now, what happened to all the crackheads? I used to see them. Where'd they go?
Are they out here on the streets right now? They still smoking crack out here in
Oh,
LA.
really?
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm working with
Okay.
2 right now. I got 2 that I'm trying to help them get their life back on track. These guys said they've been homeless for 15 years, man. Dudes ain't got ID, no social security number. They don't know their social security number. It's bad out here on these streets,
Okay.
especially if you start to talk to the people who's really doing the worst. It's bad out here.
All right. That's what's up. Why didn't you stop at $5,000? That was your original goal.
It got too easy. The more money
That
you
five
get, the
came too
easier.
quick.
Yeah, the fire came too quick, and the more money you get, money buys wisdom too. A lot of people might not know that, but money buys you wisdom. I never would have met Dick Griffey had I not been a millionaire. I never would have met Berry Gordy had I not been a millionaire. A lot of the people that I knew a lot of people, just from tennis, but even with tennis is a form of and being as good as I was, it's kind of like a form of money. It can be traded. Talents can be traded for money. So without having that money, a lot of opportunities are not there for us. And that's one of the problems we have as Black people. We just don't have the money. We do have the money, but we don't put the money in the right places. Let me say that.
Yeah, I think our problem is that we don't know how to organize ourselves to the business side. You understand? Like we have the talent, but the people who organize the business take our talent and take it for us, basically, because we haven't learned that. I mean, we still evolving. We've been held back. So I
Well,
think that's a part of it.
most of our talented people don't believe that a Black man can organize them. I've tried to work with quite a few athletes. I got some now though. I got two boxes
I know
right
about your
now.
boxes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
know.
what I found out is that we have to get them young before they get indoctrinated into the system. Into the system that a Black man ain't shit.
Right.
Because they definitely teach that in the world. That a Black man, ain't shit. You can choke him out on live TV and get away with it. You can shoot him in the back when he run away from the scene. So when you start to indoctrinate people with all of these different scenarios, then they start to not want to be associated with black. That's why athletes, when they get some money,
Mm-hmm.
they go from the neighborhood, they never come back because they don't associate themselves with being black.
Mm-hmm. They get taught to not be.
Absolutely. Don't trust them. Don't spend your money with them. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
um, don't patronize them. And there's a lot of things. Like even with black business, I believe that a black business should get more uh, 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 sympathy than any other business. We should be willing to pay a black man more for his products than we pay anybody else, because we should understand what he's going through to be in business, because we're in the same position. But
Instead of complaining about what the price is.
a lot of times though, we hold our brothers and sisters to a higher standard than we hold everybody else. We'll go into a Korean store and buy, and even though they treat you like you're a thief. A lot.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Did you come up with the name Ready Rock?
No, I didn't copyright it.
No, because I know because I heard you say that's what it used to be called, and I was like, was that like a branded thing? Ready Rock, Ricky, Ready Rock? I don't know.
Well, when you're dealing with people who use cocaine, they come up with all kind of slick stuff. They slick. They taught me. I learned so much from them people, man. The 8 years that I hung out with them, they taught me more than my school taught me. My whole 12 years of going to school, they were able to get my attention. Something that school had never been able to do. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
I found out
Uh,
I couldn't read, because the school never got my attention.
mm-hmm. Do you think I'm a switch? Do you think that Richard Pryor catching on fire made crack? Um, it gave it like sort of like how when Tiger fell off that cliff, it gave it like oh, that's
A
dangerous, but it
boost.
won't kill me. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like because
Absolutely.
when he
Absolutely. Well,
in the black neighborhoods.
Richard Pryor was a black hero. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it probably wasn't a black person alive that had never heard of Richard Pryor. We loved Richard Pryor. I loved Richard Pryor. Still
Mm-hmm.
think he probably was one of the funniest dudes to ever live. So absolutely, his incident glorified it. But it was so much other stuff that I mean, the commercial that George Bush did. When he was talking about
Mm-hmm.
how crack could be multiplied and how much money was involved, and that only made it more attractive to people who didn't have any money.
I
Damn,
got
I give me some crack and I can 5 times my money. So now
you.
people
Mm-hmm.
want to see if they can do that. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime that you talk about it, or that you showed the kind of money could be made, it absolutely glorified it.
That's what's
So,
up.
I
And,
got
and
first knowledge of cocaine from the movie Superfly.
well, now and you, yeah. Well, that was another thing that kind of happened too. And I want to go to that because I want to share with you a theory that I got, right? But I want to start with what happened with you with Blandome, right? Because he's the one that set you up. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Now what? Now and I ain't been through the whole thing, but Corrales introduced you to Blandome. Is that
No,
right?
no, no. Fisher.
Okay.
His name was Fisher.
Okay. So okay.
Well,
Now
you wait a minute. You had to go back in further. It was a few people in between that.
okay. All right.
you,
All
hey,
right.
you threw me off with that one. Uh, uh,
All right.
First, Mr. Fisher introduced me to a guy named Mark, who's a jewelry store owner.
Mm-hmm.
Mark knew Henry. Henry knew Ivan. Ivan knew Danilo. So I had to
Damn.
go all those different layers to eventually get to, I had to basically buy all them dudes had to be bought out, because it's like uh, um, having a connection is like an intellectual property. You don't just give it
Right.
away. You sell it.
Right. Yeah. I know how that works.
Kind of like the same thing I'm doing right now with the weed business. I'm weeding
Yeah.
people out of the weed business. And till I
Mm-hmm.
can eventually get myself to the top of the game. That's
Mm-hmm.
my goal to
The
become
same formula.
the same formula. Right now that just the name ain't Henry. The name is something else.
I got
But they the same
Shirley.
people. In my eyes, they're the same people. They the
I know.
gatekeepers. The guys that got to be paid in order to step
Mm-hmm.
to the side.
All right, now, okay, because I wanted now the other dudes. Blandon was an op, right?
He was a CIA operative, yes.
But the other ones that you met to get to him, were they any op? Well,
They
any of
all
those
was
guys
part
op?
of the same. They all was part of the same little clique. They called themselves the Contras.
Okay, the
The
Contras.
Contras. The Contras was an army.
I
It
understand.
wasn't.
Yeah, the
It wasn't.
Sandinistas.
It
We know.
wasn't like. It wasn't like the Mexican cartel. They was like an army that was actually backed by the CIA.
Got you. And that's okay. I'm going there. We about to go there. All right. So, and I want to ask you about this because Blandon was an informant, and I heard you talking about a movie you were going to do about an informant from St. Louis who got paid a bunch of money. Um, because my thing is these informants have destroyed so many lives. I mean, I know you gotta be in the game to get it, but the informants have done a lot to throughout history, right? Um, and I heard you saying like they pay people some people like $1 million being informants, got millions.
Yeah, the guy from St. Louis. I think he made like $5 million, $6 million.
Wow. Did you see Judas and the Black Messiah?
I did. I love that movie.
Okay. Cause and I'm gonna tell you this because I'm getting to the whole thing with the informants and this whole conspiracy, right? For me, what I was thinking about, right? My father was a personal security for Kwame Ture, and he told me about in the '68 riots that happened here in D.C. There was a guy who was a just like Lakeith's character. He was a COINTELPRO op that was inside of their organization. They were peacefully protesting, and this guy kept screaming and yelling, "Let's let's throw something through the window. They just killed King." And they was like, "No, we just trying to walk." This guy threw a trash can through a window, and the riots ensued here in D.C. Same thing probably happened in Watts. The same thing probably happened everywhere else. So the agent turned a peaceful protest into a riot.
Yeah, well, they've used informants to penetrate our organizations for years and years, to turn us against each other. Because some of these movements were, the Black Panthers was on the move, man. They were doing things. When I was a kid, I remember the Black Panthers. I used to watch them march. I used to watch us march. My brother was a us. My older brother, he was a
Mm-hmm.
us. Uh, uh, and I used to go to the marches, when they would be doing their marches and they would have on their army uniforms and it was just something that I wanted to be a part of. I just couldn't wait
Mm-hmm.
good enough to join the march. And I remember when police hit my brother in the nose and broke his nose. I know how I started having a distaste for the police at a very young age. I probably was then. I'm
Mm-hmm.
about 7 years old when that happened. But
Mm-hmm.
they hit my guy in the nose and broke his nose, so I had issues with him.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of movies out right now that speak on these agents. The Billie Holiday movie. There's a one called Seabird, and then One Night in Miami. They all kind of tell the story of what was going on in America, and they kind of exposing these things. So I'm glad that stuff is coming out. Um, if you go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, this is what I was listening to. I heard you talking about Iran and the whole thing, and I went down this whole rabbit hole. I'm gonna give you my conspiracy theory real quick. I'm gonna wrap it up. All right. So the question is not who, but why, right? So the good guys, the white American men, got a trifecta. The CIA got to kill, pillage, and rape brown, black people in Asia and Africa, while the FBI, those good guys, were able to re-enslave, kill, rape, pillage black and brown people in the good old US of A. Danilo, Pablo, Ross, Saddam, the Shah of Iran, Mobutu, Sekou, the Batistas, all the pawns in a geopolitical game of controlling money and resources. After World War II, the Ottoman Empire couldn't control the oil fields in Iraq and Iran anymore, so the British had to give that up. George Bush and Prescott Bush, who were businessmen and saw opportunity, took the CIA over there. The Russians and their oligarchs took the KGB over there. And at the same time, Iraq and Iran went to war. We put the Shah of Iran into in 1953. We put the Shah of Iran into power. Ayatollah came in 79, and then that's when we had that crisis of illegal weapons to sell. That's where you come in. The same time in Cuba, the Batistas were brutally classed. Russia backed the people. Castro took over. We lost that one. Same thing happened in the Congo. Iraq with Saddam, Pinochet, Noriega, all for money and greed. Same thing the French and Spanish did with the Indians when they first got here. They got a local to sell drugs and guns to the people, and then genocide ensues. So the real question is, where do you fit on the board, right? The game is good versus bad, right versus wrong, money and greed. And in the book, 21 Keys to Success, there's a part that says the passage of time changes the narrative of good and bad. But there's also a part that says to get money, you must understand that money is not real. How we set out to attain money is far more important than how much money we set out to attain. So that's why I disagree with the statement that the passage of time changes the narrative of good and bad, because the narrative of good and bad is always the same.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Huh?
I said I'm listening.
I said, yeah, those deeds are stapled in history. They can never be changed, never can be erased or rectified. But at the end of the day, just because you start off one way don't mean that's the way you're going to end up. And like I said earlier before, you know, he that is never seen, throw the first stone. So, you know, when we start pointing the finger at people, at anybody, you know, we always got to remember we got four fingers pointed back at us. So, you know, I try to not judge because I don't want to be judged.
Indeed.
I believe that the world is the way it is. This is the way it's supposed to be. My goal is to change the scenario to what I want it to be. If that makes sense. You know, sometimes I be talking madness.
Nah, you make perfect sense, bro. And I really
I done read about 300. I done read about 300 books, so you know I be trying to take all that madness that I read and use it to my advantage.
Well, you did a good job putting this one out, man, because you put in here, you put down some jewels. And you didn't learn to read until you were 28. And your story actually is similar to Malcolm X's. Both of you guys was in them streets. You both learned to read and write in prison, and you both redeemed and repented. Who do you think was the most influential leader of the last century? Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, Martin Luther King, or Malcolm X?
Well, Elijah has had an imprint on Black America that made, wow, it's gonna be hard to duplicate. You know, A lot of people don't know. Elijah Muhammad had 1,000 diesel trucks. So he had made an input on our lives. I mean, Malcolm X. You can't put Malcolm X in there because Malcolm X, everything he did, Elijah Muhammad had to get some credit for it. You know, that same that ripple effect.
Right.
Louis Farrakhan right now. Louis Farrakhan right now is Elijah Muhammad. You know, his teachings is just so strong, and the man was brilliant, even though, you know, he may have had some faults as well, just like anybody else.
Like
We all
everybody.
fall short, you know. But I would say Elijah Muhammad probably had the biggest effect on and definitely Black lives, or probably the whole America.
Okay, that's what's up. Garvey had 6 million in 1920 though.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
No,
I don't know much about Marcus Garvey. I know that he had an input, but I know his input is not as effective now as it probably was then. And technically, Elijah Muhammad is still affecting, you know, lives with the actions of Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. You know, they're still carrying out a lot of his wishes and his dreams.
true indeed. Actually, a fun fact: J. Edgar Hoover helped get Garvey deported, so he been doing things for a minute. Um, how
I
did
hear you.
I said way before he was head of FBI? Did you hear that?
No, you broke up again. Every time you say that,
Oh,
it break up. They don't want you to say that.
they didn't want me to say it. Every
No.
time I say J. Edgar Hoover, it was J. Edgar Hoover who got rid of Marcus Garvey as well, and
Oh,
King
okay.
and X.
Trying to break up a lot of the Black organizations. You
Yeah,
know,
he been
he
doing it for a
felt
long
that
time.
he felt just like they feel today that Black Lives Matter is more dangerous than the Ku Klux Klan and the Proud Boys. You know, so
Yeah.
they all felt the same way. You know, when you white, you right, and you know, when you Black, you dangerous.
How did you think your way out of prison?
Well, the first thing guys told me that the way out of prison, you know, first thing they did is they got me to understand that I shouldn't be dependent to take me, and the world should care more about my case than I should. And I just went to work for me. I started putting the same energy into getting out of prison that I had put into becoming a drug kingpin. You know, I thought to myself, you work my way in, why not work your way out?
Mm-hmm. And you
Because you
taught
just can't
yourself.
walk up to a federal, you can't walk up
Go ahead.
prison,
I'm
knock
sorry.
on the door and tell them you want to come in. I said, you just can't walk up to a federal prison, knock on the door and tell them you want to come in. They won't let you in. You got to go out and commit a crime. So I understood that I had worked my way into prison. The only reason that I was in prison is because who I became with effort.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. Let's get into this. I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute, man. I appreciate your time, though. Let's get into your book, man. This is an amazing book, and I know you tell people to get it and read it, and a lot of people have it, but
Now,
I
both
bought
my
it, and
books should be both my books should be sellers right now. If people only knew, you know, when I wrote my first book, I wrote my first book so that people could open that book up and literally peel my head back. You know, where you can open it up and you look inside the brain and see what I was thinking. And I tried to be totally honest when I wrote the book. And that's why Snowfall is so good. That's why people like Snowfall so much, is because John was able to capture a lot of the essence from my book in Snowfall. Uh, But when I wrote the book, I wanted people to be able to look inside of that book and see exactly what I was thinking. And I was hoping that they would be able to take some of those principles and make them,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that they thought was worthy of using, and use them to their own success. Right now, I believe that I'm having so much success because of the principles that I use. I just signed two of the promising fighters in boxing. Who I believe that both may make more money than Floyd Mayweather made.
Mm-hmm.
And with my guidance and my philosophy behind them, they're gonna go. No telling how far they're gonna go in life. One of my goals now is to be one of those prominent people like you just asked. So one day when they say, who do you think had the most influence on Black lives in America? They're gonna say Rick Ross. I want my name to be in that list of names that you just named, with the Marcus Garveys, the Elijah Muhammad's, the Malcolm X's, the Martin Luther B. One of those people. That is my goal, and I think that I can do it. The first book I ever read was Malcolm X's book, and when I read his book, I saw myself all through the book. But what I also
Mm-hmm.
saw is that I had opportunity to be bigger than he was, because I do things that he didn't do. He taught religion. What I
You
teach is
had the
economics.
business.
I teach,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I teach business. I teach them how to get some money, and
Indeed.
as we know, more people need money right now than ever before.
Indeed. Yeah. And that's what I was saying earlier. Our purpose, I mean, I'm glad you said that, because what you just said and what you've done is spoke the future. It's already happened. What you said is already happened. We'll see you there when you get there. You're already there, is what I mean by that. And
No
this
doubt.
book, man, and I'm telling you,
No,
I've been.
when. Go ahead.
Oh, well, no, say what you was gonna say.
Go
I'll get
ahead.
back to what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
Well, what I was gonna
Well,
say,
well,
I'm saying that. Go ahead, you go. You go. You go. It's a delay.
well, I learned the art of speaking into an existence. When I was on the street, I'd ever been a police car. I have conversations with my girl about were they gonna run for me when I went to prison. I got to prison. I thought about those conversations I was having, and I was like, why was you having those conversations? And I figured out is that in my mind, I'd already told myself that I should go to prison for selling drugs. And that's exactly what I did. And once I got there, I figured out that I could use those same tactics to get myself out of prison. So I started telling myself, okay, you're going to get out. You're going to get out. And I read a lot of books on the mind too while I was there. And I found out that our minds is so powerful that the smartest scientists on the planet can't figure out how it works. Uh, I learned some things like that. Our mind tells every hair on our body when to grow. Food just right with acids that could burn through metal. It also can tell you to see, smell, hear, all at the same time. So if it can do all that, and you think money, something wrong.
And you skipped ahead on me. I'm gonna skip to that one. I was gonna ask you, are our minds is our mind in a physical place? Is the subconscious mind a physical place?
Is the subconscious mind a physical place? Absolutely. That's the back
That's
of your
what's up.
mind that stores everything that ever happened to you. They say that doctors have learned that they could touch this, and you can start talking like you did when you was 2 years old. So everything that we have ever learned is still stored in our minds. I think they say that the smartest people on the planet only use about 12 or 13% of their mind. I mean, the people who just send that thing to Mars, you know, they only use 13% of their mind. So there's so much of our minds that we don't use, and we haven't learned how to use. Yes, the subconscious mind is definitely a real thing, and we know ways of affecting our subconscious mind now. You know, they've learned methods of how to feed your subconscious mind thoughts and ideas.
Now, this book is really a self-help 21 Keys. I haven't read the autobiography. I get that.
Well, make sure you don't get it off Amazon. Make sure you,
I,
huh?
I know. Go
Make
ahead.
sure
It
you don't
said
get it
it.
off Amazon.
Get it from
I said,
your
make sure you don't get it off
website.
Amazon. Huh? I didn't hear you.
I said, get
What'd
it
you
off your
say?
website. I heard you. Get it off your website.
Okay. You heard me. Animal autograph it for you. When you get off my side, I'm off. Yes, sir.
Not off of Amazon either because they robbing me. They robbing me blind, man.
Huh? I couldn't hear you. You broke up again.
Oh man. I said don't buy my book off of Amazon either. I'm getting robbed on there. I had to buy mine off of Amazon.
Okay.
Now, this is what I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
tell you too,
Amazon
because
don't play.
yeah. Now it was a lot of similarities that I read in your book that was actually had a lot to do with mine, and mine is a self help book as well. And it was a couple of things in there, man, that I had to speak on. Um, every day that I come out, I tell my son I'm coming to change the world, and I believe right now at this moment, my job is to break the stigma of God and this plant. So that's the mission I got for now. That's one of my missions. But your purpose driven message in that book is one of the keys. Can you speak on that? Just having that purpose and that goal centered in your life.
I don't know what you mean by that. Say that again.
Oh, I was talking about key three of the 21 keys of success.
Three say.
Key man of the people. We got a bad.
Broke up again.
Yeah. Let's do this,
Well, you know,
brother.
anytime you start talking some shit on Instagram, they clog the waves, you know, and they fog them up.
I got you.
So
We breaking up. Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
All right, cool. I got a passage on my. Which I'm in is how I flow. There was a how do you change your current? There was a part in your book about changing your current when you're going one way and you're only taking in negative energy. How do you change that current that you're in?
Well, you have to change. First thing you have to change is you have to start to see the negativity for what it is. You know, sickness is so many of our people believe that gang banging is okay. And that
Mm-hmm.
is because they haven't been awakened the dead end street that gang banging is, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or selling drugs, knowing that at the end of the day that all of the things that are going to be taken away from you. you know, and you're gonna wind up in prison away from your loved ones. Um, once you start to do that, then you can start to change the current, start changing the direction that you're going with your life.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the keys in
We
your book.
we as blacks have been taught that we're not smart, that we're not talented,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and like we said earlier, you know, once they find somebody who is talented, they usually take them out of the hood so that we don't have the opportunity to experience with them what they did to make it. You know, that's why it's so important that others start to make it who are not afraid to go back to the hood and share their stories and their tales with the rest of the community.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. Key 17, my balls and my word. In my book, let me go to yours real quick. Uh, my balls and my word is on yours on key 17. In my book, day 24, word is impeccable. That is truth. Speak it and mean it. Liars are cowards. So my balls and my word, and being honest and using your word as your bond is the same thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because if you can't keep your word, then you don't have nothing. You know, what else do you have at the end of the day? So yeah, you got to be able to keep your word.
That's what's up. Um, Let me get you this one. We about to wrap this part up. What are your expectations for 21 Keys? Do you consider it on a level 21 Keys of Success? Do you consider it on the level of Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich, and As a Man Thinketh? You put it in those categories?
I I would hope so one day that it be looked at like that. I know they will. Both of my books will one day when people discover. With more success you have, the more people start to look at your philosophies, your methods, and with the kind of success that I'm having, it's going to be amazing. You know, the marijuana industry. You know, I'm smashing it right now. You know, I'm
Mm-hmm.
smashing the marijuana industry. When they see the
Mm-hmm.
web that I've casted, when it becomes known, you know, it's like, you know, when a fly hit that spider web, he don't know that he running into a spider web until he's more than likely caught in it. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm casting a web of attraction so that I can bring to the cannabis industry what I want. I'm doing the same thing in boxing. You know, I signed two fighters, Nasir Charles out of Philadelphia, who just won his first belt, and I got Kid Austin out of Austin, Texas, that I'm working with, who are going to rewrite the rules. Um, I'm also getting ready to do the same thing in the music business. My movie, we finna start casting my movie here in weeks, which I know I'm gonna break the box office. They think they like Snowfall. Wait till they get a hold of the reel.
That's what's up.
So
That's
you know,
what's up.
I'm able to tap into industries that most people only dream about. Not not not
Mm-hmm.
not conquering, but I don't want to just be in these industries. I want to conquer them. I want to
Mm-hmm.
be the
Will.
number one.
You will conquer them.
So if I'm able to pull these missions off, my books are gonna go. They're gonna go bananas. They'll probably sell in the tens of millions of books. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think Napoleon Hill sold over 150 million books. So uh, I got a long ways to
Okay.
go, but uh,
I'm on the
like I
path with
said,
you.
uh, I know my books are good. You know, they truthful. Um, and I use, you know, the best memory that I had. You know, I couldn't remember everything, but I tried to put everything in it that I could remember. So
This the last
that's a
thing
light
about
that
the
I
book.
feel like they.
I didn't mean to cut you, brother. I want to show you something
No, I was
on
finished.
okay, this is my book right here. All right, this the last.
Uh huh. Okay.
I have the keys. Now I wrote this book 7 years ago, and I got this book 14 days ago. But at the end of my book, I wrote I have the keys. I call that serendipity. I got the keys, and here go the keys. So here go the keys right here for everybody. If y'all really want to get your life together, purchase these 2 books. Don't buy them from Amazon. Come get them from the real Rick Ross and the real me. Let's get on your and I do want to talk about
No doubt.
your cannabis business. Let's talk about let's get on to that, because that's what all my people really came here for. They pretend like they would have had all the stuff. They wasn't about the weed.
I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him. Yes.
Let's talk about that now. When did you get started with LA Kingpins? Like how long have you? When did that brand get started?
LA Kingpin is about 1.5 years old now. It came out of my desire to want to be in the legal weed market. You know, I was doing black market weed, and I saw times was starting to get licensed, and the states and the cities were starting to license them. And then I saw other brands coming out, and I said, well, you know what? I better get my brand going right now before it gets too late. You know, because you can wait too late, and when you come with your brand, you're fighting against Nike.
The tide.
You ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win for a long time. You have a whole lot of losses on your record. So I just decided to go for it.
That's dope. Pins, that's separate from the Freeway strains, right? The LA. So what is LA? Is that a dispensary? Is that a
Well, the Freeway? No. LA Kingpin is a brand. It's a brand.
Okay.
Freeway is a brand. What happened? How Freeway came about? I was going around with LA Kingpin trying to get it in different stores, and I stumbled up on the Cure Company, and I was trying to get my product in their stores. And one day, you know, I kept coming back. It wouldn't take my brand in there. Even right now, I don't think they're still in the company. But one day I came and the boss was there, and somebody told me, well, that's the boss right there. Talk to him about it. So I went and talked to him, and I was like, man, I've been trying to get my brand in your stores. You know, you put my brand in here, I come out here and do a signing, and, you know, I'll bring people to your stores and everything. And he said, well, I like what you're doing, but well, man, you do a brand together. And I decided to do a brand with him. I didn't know who he was at the time. I didn't know that he could possibly be the biggest indoor grower in the world. So I decided to do that brand with him, and that's how Freeway came out. But I got another brands that's getting ready to come out. I got 2 more brands that's about to come.
I didn't hear that last part you said about the other 2 brands. You broke up.
Yeah, I got 2 more brands that I'm working on right now with other people. Because it's funny, you know, when you're doing business with people in the weed business, they want to have their own separate.
I can't hear you.
Brand. You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I don't know what's wrong with that. I told you about Instagram, man.
I can't hear nothing. I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now? I hear you.
You can still hear me?
I hear you well. Yep.
Let me take these headphones off.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think my headphones might have messed up. Okay. Yeah, so you were saying that the brand, I heard that part about the brands. Now, you said you had 2 more brands coming out. 2 separate brands.
I'm working on 2 more brands right now. I'm working on a deal with the second biggest brand in California. I met with the owner day before yesterday, so we're trying to put together a deal right now. I told you I'm casting the web on the industry.
See you, bro. I see you. Like when you move to Ohio and move to
I see what you're doing.
I'm also working on an edible line.
Can I be
with,
your tester?
yeah, absolutely. I need testers.
All right.
I can keep you high.
My man.
If I can't do nothing else, I can get you high. I might not be able to pay you. But I can keep you high.
I'm gonna just test and let you know, give you my honest opinion on them.
Okay, that's a done deal. When you coming out?
You know what? I gotta talk to my wife. But I've been invited to a wedding on the 21st, so I might come out there then. 21st
okay, let me know. Let me know. I'm gonna get you high. Hey, when I used to sell cocaine, I thought I was supposed to get everybody high.
Hey man,
I thought my mission was. No. Hey, it just changed. It just changed products now. Don't get them high with cocaine. Cocaine wasn't no good for them. Right idea, bad, wrong product.
That's we're gonna talk about that next week too, because my next week's is about no cocaine, but cocaine is poison. And a matter of fact, let's get to that because we're gonna wrap this up, man. I really appreciate your time, and I'm gonna tell you this too, because we talked about boycotts earlier. I'm gonna get you to boycott Vlad.
Yeah, you want to boycott Vlad?
Yeah, you need to boycott him too. You got way too many platforms you can go on, man. You got Fat Joe, you got Lord Jamar, you got Drink Champs, you got me.
Yeah, but Fat Joe, he don't keep it real though.
Oh, really?
Nah.
I ain't know that. Tell me about that. Tell me about the fat boy.
Well, I respected his wishes when I did his live. He asked me not to talk about his friend, which I didn't. But these guys are just so, they so fake with it.
They're so Hollywood.
Yeah, you talk to them one time and then they change their number. Just that kind of stuff. I ain't with that kind of stuff. One thing I can say about Vlad, if I call Vlad, he's either gonna pick up the phone or he's gonna call me back.
Yeah, my beef is with him is that he didn't apologize for the mistake he made, and he needs to keep getting our audience. And on top of that, I was listening to a lot of his interviews, and it's like all he talk about is gangster shit. That's all he want to bring out from people. Is like, what about the gangster shit? What about the gangster shit? I'm like, dude, can you say something else? With you, he's talking about different stuff because you kind of forced the issue, but a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't let him control the narrative.
Right.
I come in
but a lot of people ain't got that.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't be doing interviews. Because I'm gonna be straight up with you. Vlad's platform has allowed millions and millions of young black men to get the message. I've had you would be surprised of how many brothers come up to me and say, "Man, thank you," to me.
That's real talk.
For saying what I said on Vlad TV. So when I do Vlad, it's not just for Vlad. I'm not doing.
I got you.
Because I don't really need money. Right now I got more money than I spend. More, other people spend more of my money than I do right now. I spend my money on other people more than I spend on myself. So technically, for me myself, I'm financially secure right now. If I left here the way I am today, I couldn't be mad.
Right.
So I'm not one of those people that feel like I got to even though I feel like I'm gonna be richer than Jeff Bezos, that's not something that drives me and motivates me.
Right.
What drives me and motivates me is just wanting to be the best that I can be at whatever it is that I'm doing. So that's when I do that,
that's in the keys too. I forgot. I know what key that is. I told my son about that one. Do the best. I said, you in life, you just playing golf against yourself. You do your best and be your best, and that's the best. That's all you got to worry about.
That's it. So when I do Vlad, it's not for me, but it's more so for the people that watch Vlad.
Gotcha.
Vlad get 90 million views a month. So he's touching a lot of people. For people to even notice that he did something wrong.
Right. I feel
he touched a lot of people.
Who sat by the door kind of thing with that one. I feel you. I feel you on that one.
But I do all the platforms. You know, anytime the brothers hit me, I do them. I talk to them, you know, and I try to give them my honest opinion, and I focus. But so often, you know, we don't do our homework.
Right.
You know, we don't go out and do what it takes to become great. You know, we want to be great, but we don't want to go out and run. You know,
Right.
we don't want to go out when it's cold.
Right.
We don't
We'll
want to
play
save our
PlayStation.
money. We don't want
Right.
to buy the new cameras. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
don't want to do the things that it takes to be great. And Vlad allows me to do that bigger than anybody else right now. You know,
Come on back here, man. I'm gonna allow you to be great. I
you
don't
know,
have that
like
many views though. I ain't got no that many views.
Even when the pandemic broke out, you know, I called him and told him I wanted to come on there and talk about the pandemic. You know, and I told, this is before it even hit the black community, you know, because I know the doctor who was on the front line, and he put me up on the vitamin D3. Like, man, vitamin D3 is the best thing you can take for this disease, which all of my crew did, and none of us caught coronavirus that actually did that. A few who didn't do it caught it, but we were able to save their life because when they caught it, they listened. But Vlad allowed me to come on his platform and share that with the world. So you know, it's a double.
I got you, brother. Hey man, that was just my little attempt at, you know. I feel
No, but a lot of people be on me about Vlad. You know, like, oh man, you go on Vlad, you still doing Vlad, and I be like, why y'all boycotting? What did he say? You know, because I didn't hear. I don't go in there and watch my shows.
Well, from what I understand, he disparaged Farrakhan. He said Farrakhan called Jews murderers or something, and Farrakhan never said it. And then they showed him where he was wrong, and he was like, well, and they was like, why don't you apologize? Lord Jamal and Godfrey, that's why they boycotted. And they was like, why don't you apologize? And he was like, oh, I'm not apologizing. You know, he just wouldn't do it. And they was like, all you got to do is apologize. He just wouldn't humble himself. Key one, he wouldn't humble himself. So I'm like, all right, well, deuces, dude. I ain't watching you no more. I was watching to do research on yours, but you know,
no doubt.
All he got to do is apologize, man. That's all.
No doubt.
That's all. Humility, you know.
And you know, I asked him about that the last interview that I talked to him. I don't know if he showed that part, but
yeah. I ain't peeped that, right?
Yeah, we did. We talked about it because I didn't know what it was. You know, I just got phone calls from a few people saying that you shouldn't be doing Vlad no more. You know, he said something about Farrakhan, and I asked him what did he say, and I think he explained it to me, but I don't remember exactly what it was that he said. You know, I got so much stuff on my plate, I can't even, I can't even handle all the stuff I got on my plate. You know,
that's what's up. Real quick, man, we about to end it too. I have next week. I got Bo Money. Bonita Money coming on. Should be my guest. I know, and Indica is the organization that it's a nonprofit that helps people who were affected by the cannabis laws, right?
Yeah, they do a lot of things. Like they helped me get my license. You know, Bonita was really, really instrumental in me becoming a licensed marijuana dispensary owner. You know, I owed her a lot for doing that. She definitely helped. And we went around the country. You know, she set up around the country where we went to Detroit, Chicago, Pittsburgh, New Jersey. I mean, we've been a lot of places, you know, talking to black people about why they should pursue a legal license and come out the black market. You know, because a lot of blacks eat off the black market, off the black weed. So, you know, once it becomes legal, those revenue streams are going to be gone. Because eventually the weed is going to be so cheap and so plentiful that, you know, they won't need to go and get it off the black market. They can just go get it out the store almost price. So Bonita was very instrumental in putting that message out, and I'm glad that I had joined her team and helped her do that because she had a good mission.
That's what's up, man. I got this idea that I want to run past you for this 40,000 prisoners, hostages. I wanted to do your thing is tennis. Mine is I ride bicycles, and I want to do this bicycle. I don't know what to call it, not a marathon, but whatever those telethon, like a telethon kind of thing.
Correct.
It was called the Harriet Tubman Freedom Challenge, from Making the Mason, and then the idea could be to release these 40,000 hostages that are locked up for nonviolent drug offenses. So it's a bike ride from Making the Mason. You get sponsors, and then we just along the way, and on top of that, we paying homage to a rally. That's what it's called. Paying homage to the ancestors going through the Underground Railroad up the same way to freedom. What you think of that one?
I like that idea. Let me know. I'll ride a bike with you.
All right, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, I'll
all
come
right,
out
brother. Word is bond, man. Hey,
for
man,
sure.
it's been a great interview.
No doubt, no doubt. Thank you for having me on. Also, in Atlanta, Georgia, we're going to be fighting in Atlanta, Georgia. My boxers will be fighting April the 3rd in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're in Atlanta, come out, check us out. We'll be streaming on my pages too. So check us out.
Okay, so what's the fighters? You got Kid Austin and who else?
Nafir Charles.
Nafir Charles. I
Out
saw a little bit of Kid Austin on tape. He looked nice. I haven't seen Nafir yet.
Yeah, Nafir, he more of a slugger. You know, he likes to go in and just, like Mike Tyson, just slug it out. You know,
knock him out.
Takes too many punches for me. I don't like him taking all them punches, but
okay,
you know, that's the way he like it. So
all right, definitely, man. Definitely, we gonna, hey, man. Well, everybody know who you are. If you people want to change your life, and I'm real, I'm telling you 100%. I read this book, and it'll change your life. I think, especially for people, especially if you know somebody that's locked up. I think this is a book that people who are locked up really need to read. Not just people who are locked up, but I think if you know somebody, send them one. Buy yourself a copy and send them one as well, because the book is going to change the way you think. And when you change the way you think, you change the way you are. So, but it's keys, and it's teaching you the way to get there, man. So it's definitely that. Also, if you want the keys, I done told y'all at the end, we got the keys. Pick mine up as well. Buy 2 books today.
No doubt, no doubt. Support black business. Support black business.
Support black authors. Support black business. Support black merch.
Nah.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Rick.
I appreciate you.
Gotta have you on again, brother, man.
Let me know. Let me know when.
Okay.
All right.
Salute.
Peace out.
Peace. All right, y'all. We had technical difficulties. We had a lot of things that went wrong, but everything in the end went right. That was a wonderful interview. Thank you all for tuning in. Follow me. Come back next week. We got Bo Money. That's Rick Ross's, and you might learn how to go legal, or how to change the legislation smart. She's a wonderful interview. Do some research on her. Bonita Money. And come back. Tell your friends about us. Come back. Like, share. Come back. Yeah, my headphones. Hey, man. Damn those headphones. But we'll be back. We'll be back. And like I said, y'all, pick those things up. Remember, you are God. Peace.